What's good, fellas? Welcome back to the channel. The Oklahoma City Thunder are your 2024-2025 NBA champions. We're going to talk about the Thunder first, then the Pacers and all the incredible things they did. And at the end, we'll talk about the Kevin Durant trade. I wanted to put this all into one video because yesterday was one of the craziest days in NBA history. The Thunder win their first championship in the history of the Thunder franchise. Incredible. 68-win team, and they capped it off with an NBA championship. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you could say whatever the hell you want about him, but he had one of the best individual guard seasons this league has ever seen. He threw himself into a conversation and a pool of players where there's not many players. He won the regular season MVP, he won the scoring title, he won finals MVP, and of course he won, excuse me, and then he finally won the championship. Incredible season from Shai. You could say, you really can't say anything about him anymore. He did everything he possibly could. You could talk about the foul baiting, the blah, 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 but just appreciate the incredible season he had. Chet Holmgren, oh my God, like incredible defense in these finals, especially in Game 7. I think he had like 6 blocks. There's going to be no cuts in this video, just straight to it. He had like 6 blocks, incredible rim protection, and he needs to be thrown into conversation on if he is one of the best rim protectors in this league, because he certainly is. Yeah, the offense was kind of up and down, but for him to go into a Game 7 and kind of just stay within himself and don't do anything too crazy on the offensive side of the ball and just be an absolute menace on defense was incredible. He really established himself as one of the premier defenders in this league. J-Dub had some huge performances in this final. He had a solid Game 7, and then the role players for the Thunder really stepped up. The Dorts, the Carusos on defense, and I expected those guys to step up. The guys with a little bit more experience, especially Caruso, now being a 2-time NBA champion, he had a really good game. And yeah, I mean, a lot of people are going to talk. I've already seen it on Instagram. I know it was like a one big Instagram news page or something like that. I forget who it was, but before they even said Oklahoma City are champions and, celebrating their incredible season, I saw something like, oh, this was OKC's way to the championship, and it showed everybody getting hurt. We'll talk about Tyrese in a little bit. And I just, I don't get that. Like, why not appreciate this incredible season they had? They're the second youngest team to ever win a finals. They had 68 wins. They had the MVP, excuse me. They went through some really tough teams, the Timberwolves, the Nuggets. They went through some tough teams, and they finally capped it off against a Pacers team who was on an absolute roll. They beat the Cavs. They beat the Knicks. They beat the Bucks. They beat some really good teams in the Eastern Conference. So for OKC to just beat them, it's really impressive. They had a fantastic season. They're one of the best teams we've really ever seen. I know people are going to hate on it, but it doesn't matter. They did that. They won 68 games, and they won the NBA Finals. You can't say anything else. The defense is also one of the best we've seen in the modern era. They played so many great offenses in this playoffs, and they really shut them down. They've shut them down with the likes of Dort, Caruso, Cason Wallace, Chet. I mean, that whole roster is filled with incredible defenders. So shout out to everybody, top to bottom. This team is really good, and they could just run it back next year. This is the beautiful thing about this team. They don't need to change anything. They got over that hump. They got over that first championship hump, and now they could just keep going and keep going. They could add little pieces where they need it, and that's where I commend Sam Presti, because after last year, they lost, and there was some conversation about, oh, should this team make some big moves? Is J-Dub going to get moved? Is Chet going to get moved? And maybe those weren't serious conversations, but they were conversations that were, being had. But Sam Presti stayed with it. No reason to change this young core. Added the good pieces that they need. The small pieces, but impactful pieces with Isaiah Hartenstein, with Alex Caruso. And those two guys made a huge difference going into the season. They added some rebounding and some playmaking with Isaiah Hartenstein, and then we know what Alex Caruso brings to a roster. So shout out to literally everybody. Presti, Shai, the roster top to bottom. They did an incredible job, and they are simply one of the best teams we've seen in the modern era. And now let's talk about the Pacers a little bit, because incredible. I mean, I'm a Knicks fan, but dude, I'm a basketball fan before anything. And what they did this season was just remarkable, and we haven't seen this ever. This team was below 500 in like the winter time, and then they come into here the second half of the season and into the playoffs and just play incredible team basketball. I want to talk about Tyrese first because, man, like, I'm a Knicks fan. I don't really fancy the Pacers all that much, but dude, I'm a compassionate individual. That hurt. That really, really hurt. My stomach dropped for him. I can't imagine like what that feels like. You're in game 7. You worked so incredibly hard to be here. You played through injury for your teammates, for your guys. You're an absolute dog. And then that happens. When you're younger, when you're a little kid, you always, whatever sport it is, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, you always envision you playing in some sort of championship game, whether you're taking the final shot, whether you're taking like a penalty kick. You envision that in your mind. We've all done it. And for his dreams to just get stripped away like that is awful. I can't imagine that. I was sick to my stomach when I saw it. And he's going to most likely miss all of next year. It's just terrible, man. This league has lost some really incredible stars. The Tatums of the world, the Damian Lillards. Kyrie obviously blew out his knee. And then Tyrese, it just sucks, man. It really, really sucks. I'm a basketball fan, as I said before anything. And it hurts that we're not going to see these guys in the league next season because they're great personalities. They're great players. They bring something to the table that we all enjoy. So, I don't know. My thoughts go out to Tyrese. As a Pacers fan, I'm sorry, guys. That's got to hurt. That's really, really got to hurt. He just went out there to try to fight for his guys, and then for it to just be taken away like that, that hurts, man. That really, really hurts. So shout out to Tyrese. He's a dog, man. He's an absolute dog. He fought his ass off to get here. Big shot after big shot, and he was hooping his ass off, man. He was hooping his ass off. 3 just deep-ass threes that he was drained early. He was getting hype. He was playing through that injury, and, the Achilles got him. And that's just not a good injury, man. We know in basketball the Achilles one is not cool. And the calf injury, yeah, man. I mean, look back to the Kevin Durant situation. He was playing through a right strained calf. He tore his ACL, so there might be correlation. So just pray, I don't even know how to formulate my words, but just shout out to Tyrese for playing through an injury for his guys in the finals. Yeah, that sucks. That really, really sucks. As a basketball fan before anything, I'm a Knicks fan, but I'm a basketball fan before anything, so that really sucks to see Tyrese go down. Really, really sucks. The mood of the finals was just different after that. Nothing. Just you don't want to see that, man. You really don't want to see that. My thoughts and prayers go out to him because we all can kind of understand the thought process and the emotions he had in that situation. You see him slamming down the court, just slapping the court. Probably not even because of the injury, but just damn, I can't be out here in Game 7. I fought all the way here. My team fought all the way here, and I can't be out there for him. That just sucks. That just sucks when you pour it all out on the court. Man, I don't know, man. I could kind of understand as a former athlete myself. You could understand those emotions as you just want to be out there. You just want to be out there. So it sucks for them. But shout out to the rest of the Indiana squad. I mean, Indiana Pacers fans need to walk out of this season with your heads held high, man. Heads held high because this team just fought until the end. You can't ask for much more. This team fought tooth and nail to get here. You have guys like Andrew Nembhard who was a 29% from 3 player in the regular season and then turned into fucking Steph Curry. Turned into Steph Curry in the postseason. Played some remarkable defense. Guys like Obi Toppin stepped up. Pascal Siakam stepped up. I'm missing guys. Nesmith had some huge games. Look back at that Knicks series. TJ McConnell. Oh my God. A guy who is undersized. Not fit to play basketball because he's short, goes out there and tries to just carry the team on his back in the third quarter, getting to his spots, hitting little mid-range floaters. He tried absolutely everything he could. I'm probably missing guys, of course, but this Pacers team did some remarkable things. You got to walk out of this situation with your head held high, and I know it sucks that Tyrese might not be here for next season, but truly remarkable. If they somehow would have pulled this off, it would have been the best championship ever, but they just didn't have enough against this OKC squad. But it really was one of the best finals runs we've ever seen. So the Indiana fans head held high. Your team did remarkable things. They fought till the absolute end. This team fought and fought and fought. So you can't be much more wanting of this squad. So yeah, that's a wrap for the 2024-2025 NBA season. I had a joy watching it. I love basketball. I absolutely love basketball. My Knicks, we'll be back. Hopefully with a new coach. OKC, shout out to him. Shea's the MVP. Had one of the best individual seasons we've ever seen. Chet Holmgren stepped up on the defensive side. J-Dub gave you great two-way play. Lou Dort hit huge threes. Cason Wallace came up on defense time and time again. Alex Caruso is Alex Caruso. We all love him. And then all those other guys, Hartenstein, and on and on and on. Shout out Mark Daytonall, young coach, improvised on his way. This team kind of learned. I saw an interview with J-Dub. I forget who it was with at the end. It was after the game, of course. And it was just like, I appreciated the moments I had with this team, whether it was on the plane ride or in the bus. I was watching film with Chet in the hotel. It's those little moments where he said he appreciates the most, after it's all said and done. And those are the moments where this team really bonded and how it got to this spot. And, you could understand that. It's those little moments where you appreciate it so much. So shout out to J-Dub, this young squad. They learned on the fly. This team learned on the fly. They're all super young. So shout out to them. They're incredible basketball players. Indiana, incredible. I've said it like a million times in this video, but it's truly incredible what this team has done. Shout out Tyrese. You're an absolute dog. Let's talk about the KD trade a little bit. So obviously Kevin Durant is being sent to Houston, and in return, off the top of my dome, the Suns get who do they get? Jalen Green. They get Dillon Brooks, the 10th overall pick, and then 5 second-round picks. It just needed to come to me for a second. And my overall thoughts about this trade is, the more I think about it, the more I absolutely love it for the Rockets. You keep guys like Jabari Smith Jr., Tari Eason, Aaron Holiday, Cam Whitmore. You keep all these guys, and then you just add a Kevin Durant. I think that's absolutely remarkable. I think that's an incredible deal. Originally, I was thinking like a B to B plus for them. I'm thinking more towards an A to an A plus for the Rockets. You now get to contend in the Western Conference. You dump a little bit of that Jalen Green contract. Obviously, you want to keep him. You want to see how his potential grows, but it might be better for him to be in a new location like Phoenix. So I love this. And for the 10th overall pick, you have all your depth. You kept all your depth. So is there really a spot to infuse this 10th overall pick into your roster? I'm not too sure. So you keep all your depth. Dillon Brooks obviously hurts to lose. He's a great two-way player. But you're adding Kevin Durant. You're adding a guy who doesn't need to be a primary ball handler, can still give you rim protection, and is going to give you 27 efficient points a night. So you needed this type of profile, and you got it. Yes, 5 second-round picks. They're second-round picks. They don't really mean too much, and I think they were late second-round picks anyways. So you add a guy who is one of the greatest scorers of all time, doesn't need to be primary ball handler, can still give you rim protection, and now you have a core of Amen Thompson, Alperen Sengun, Fred VanVleet, Jabari Smith Jr., and you have all these guys still on the bench that you were able to keep. I was shocked they were able to keep guys like Tari Eason, Cam Whitmore, even Aaron Holiday, who had a really solid year last year. I think he's on a team option. We'll see what they do with that. They'll maybe pick it up. He'll give you good two-way play, So I love this for Houston. You're able to contend in the next 2-3 years. You're able to contend in the Western Conference, and say it doesn't work out, KD retires where it all started, and then you move on with a shit ton of money to head into free agency, or at that time, you'll have picks to use. So I think this is a win-win situation for Houston. If it works out, you win a championship. If it doesn't, you lose KD. You learn a lot about your team. You go into whatever offseason is with a lot of picks and a crap ton of money. I love this for Houston. I'm still a big fan of KD. I think he's gotten underrated at this point in his career because he's still a good rim protector. As I said, he'll give you efficient buckets every night, and he's still 40% from three. So I love this for Houston. For Phoenix, not so much. I think you could have gotten a bigger package from a team like Toronto. There were rumors of them, throwing in Barrett quickly, Jakob Poeltl, and like the 9th overall pick. I just think you could have gotten more in for this deal. Dylan Brooks is solid. The 10th overall pick is solid. You could kind of retool around D-Book. But this team isn't like too far. It's not too far because you have D-Book, who is probably going to retire in Phoenix. You have him. You have your guy. So you drop Beal, you get Beal out of here. You see what you could do with Jalen Green. And the next 3-4 years, you retool around D-Book. You get good guys around him like you did and how you went to the finals. You retool about around D-Book. Excuse me, I'm fumbling over my words. I just woke up. I'm sorry. And then you see what you could do. But I just don't really like this because I don't think they got enough in return. Once the trade happened, a lot of people were like, okay, Jalen Green with Beal and Book, how is this going to work? And a lot of us thought, okay, they're going to move Jalen Green. Sure, they're going to completely retool this roster. And then reports came out that they're not going to trade Jalen Green and that they're going to keep him and then maybe try to trade or buy out Bradley Beal. So we'll see what they could do with the Beal situation. But I think 90% of their money is going to those three players in the backcourt. Jalen Green, D-Book, and Devin Booker. So that's just like terrible. That's just terrible. So we'll see what the Suns can do. 5 seconds is whatever. The 10th overall pick is nice, but I think you could have gotten more for Kevin Durant from some other teams. That's just my opinion. I don't overly love this for the Suns, but it also is not bad. I'll give it like a C+ to a B. I love it for Houston. They get to contend now, and if it doesn't work, they move on, and it's all good. Yeah, those are my thoughts. I'm recording this really early in the morning, so I'm kind of tired. I'm kind of goodbye.